Hi everyone, today we're going to work on how to measure and make proportional drawings. You might have seen artists using their hands and fingers and thumbs to measure things before, and that's what we're going to work on today. When you take your hand and measure something like the height of this window, you just put your pencil at the top part and slide your thumb down to the bottom of the window, then you've got your measurement. One thing you need to make sure to do when you're doing this technique is not lean your hand forward or backward, but keep it straight up and down so that it doesn't alter the shape, the proportions and measurements. The other thing is you want to lock your elbow when you're making measurements and using them so that you don't change the size of things. But today we're going to look at this bottle and see how to draw it in proportion. The first thing I want to do is find a small measurement for it, which is the width. So I'm going to put the tip of my pencil right at the edge of the bottle and then slide my thumb until it reaches the edge of the bottle. So that is my constant. Once I have that measurement of the width, I don't want to change where my thumb is on the pencil. So we're going to see how many times tall the bottle is compared to how wide it is. I'm going to put my top of my pencil at the top of the bottle and make a mental note of where my thumb is. That's a little below the label there. And then I'm going to move my hand down without moving my thumb right to that point. So now we're at 2 widths. Now look at where your thumb is, make a mental note of that, and keep your eye right on that spot. Slide the pencil down to there. Now we're at 3 widths. Look at where your thumb is again, make a note, and keep your eye right on that spot and slide this down again. It's almost exactly 4 times as wide as it is. One more time, check it. There's 1, there's 2. Look at where your thumb is, keep your eye on that spot. There's 3. Look at where my thumb is now, keep your eye on that spot and move your pencil down. That's 4. So when I start this drawing, I can make the bottle any size I want as long as it fits on the paper. I'm going to make it about this wide. So I'll take a measurement here with my pencil and I'll make this rectangular shape that's going to be 4 times as tall as that. So there's 1. You can use 2 hands and make a measurement here. 1. Mark where your thumb is. 2, 3, and 4. So I'm getting a little off here because I'm drawing at a really odd angle. But this is basically where your bottle is going to go. Let's draw a line right down the center, straight up and down. These are just light sketching lines, and it's not easy to do this at a weird angle that I am, but okay, so there's our box, our rectangle that the bottle's going to fit into. This line in the center. The next thing I want to find out proportionally is how wide the bottle is at the top on the neck. So I'll take a measurement here, putting my pencil all the way to the edge of the neck and sliding my thumb over. So that's my new constant. And then how does this compare with the overall width of the bottle? I'll put my pencil here and look where my thumb is and slide it over. So it's a little more than 2 times, it's a little more than half as big as the width of the bottle. So here's the width of the bottle. This is roughly half of it. That's a little bigger. So we're going to put this right about here. That's the neck of the bottle. Now, how far down do we go before we get to the place where the neck widens out? There's different ways we could do this. We could take this measurement of the width and count how many times we can go down there before we get to the wide part. That's 1, 2, 3. It sort of starts to spread out right around 3 widths. You can also take this width, the wider width, Make that your constant and see how far down you go. There's 1, looking where my thumb is, there's 2. So I see that where my thumb is now is about where the bottle reaches its widest part. So I'll take this width, this measurement, and come down 2, which I've already marked there. And this is where our bottle is already completely wide, so there's a little bit of a slope here. The neck comes down, and we'll look at this angle, which we'll talk about a little more later. The angle of that slope. It's about there, so I'm going to put this over here and see if I've got my angle right. Try not to move your hand one way or the other. Looks pretty close. The angle here should match that, so this one needs to be a little more steep. Okay, so there's the basic shape of the bottle. Just going to double check these proportions. Okay. This is the part where the bottle is at its widest. A little neck here. And we're going to come down here and fill out the bottom. The bottom of the bottle is an elliptical shape. So I'm going to mark an equal distance here and here and draw that elliptical shape in both directions to get a nice even round shape. And there is the bottom of the bottle. The top of the bottle is a slightly less elliptical shape. There's not too much of it showing. You can put that in. So right now this isn't a great drawing. It's a little out of whack, especially the angle you're looking at it on the computer. But it's basically the right proportions. So from this point on, you could start adding details. You can put in shadows and highlights and make it look like glass and all that. But that's the basic way to measure, is by finding one constant unit of measurement and then comparing it to other aspects of whatever it is you're drawing. This could be used for a person, for an animal, for a landscape, anything you want. All right, thanks, and next time we'll talk about how to do this with a photographic reference.